In 2018, a crack YouTube unit was sent to social media prison for a crime we didn't commit. We promptly escaped to the internet underground, where we survive as producers of fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find our videos on the internet, maybe you can hire the Smash team. I doubt it, though, because you probably can't afford the Smash team. Hey, look, it's the sun in 304 angstroms. There are no sunspots. And the phone that's creating this video is inundated with horrific Google software that barely functions on its best day, folks. We see some filamentary activity on the sun. Couple coronal holes, and otherwise really low amounts of solar activity. Isn't that special? Here's a colored magnetogram, and the sun is so featureless that it's enough to make you depressed. Or maybe just make you rage quit. This improper display of the real-time solar wind brought to you by the Android operating system. Wasting more time than a trip to Mars. Solar wind density is at 3.12 protons per cubic centimeter, and the solar wind is actually down to 405 kilometers per second since yesterday. Hey, look, everybody, it's the Gong 2 measuring all kinds of magnetic data from stereo A and B and from ground-based observatories on Earth. Check out that data. It's only 3 hours and 18 minutes old. Incidentally, the Earth is approaching a really strong magnetic region right there. Hey, let's look at some other data as I try to drive this jalopy, which acts like it's going to break down at any point. Not because it's an old phone, just because it's got an Android operating system, which, by the way, barely functions. There's a magnetometer. The X-ray flux is totally flatlined, and the KP index is back down to 0. Are you feeling psychic, folks? Or are you just feeling pissed off? Here's the GOES electron flux. Apparently somebody must know how to write software, as it's showing us data. And the electron flux is actually quite high right now, by the way. The F2 ionosphere layer is extremely charged, all the way up to 13 megahertz over the African Rift Zone. I'd show you the aurora forecast, but it's pretty irrelevant. Hey, check out the Space Weather Enthusiast dashboard. 10.7 centimeter radio flux, 69. And here's the Enlil prediction. Ooh. Ah. I need a PNG of Vanna White to put in front of this. This prediction probably incorrect. Hey, check out the geospace magnetosphere movies. We'll show you one of them, The Pressure. Because I'm not going to sit around all day trying to get jalopy software to work. By the way, thanks, Google. Your software is non-functional. We can't screen capture on the computer using your horrific Google Chrome browser extensions. And we can't stream live on here because this recording software is unable to connect to your crappy-ass servers. Hey, look, it's a smAsho bonus. I've also showed the density. Whoa! Solar wind density pretty low, all the way down to 4 protons per cubic centimeter. But more dense than like 0.8 protons per cubic centimeter, which we have seen earlier this year. There's the velocity. I'm not even going to show it to you because who cares? geospace ground perturbations. There you have the geospace ground perturbations. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Google for the extremely sarcastic and shortened version of this video. Thank you, Google. Your software barely functions and wastes billions of hours of time across the world every day. I'd go to usgs.gov to look at the earthquake map, but that software barely functions. That's right. Not only private business is unable to write software, but Google's unable to write software too. So well done. Well done. The 6 and 7 magnitude earthquake drought continues. So if you're in these areas, be ready, because you're going to have a 6 or 7 magnitude earthquake. We've only seen one 6 magnitude earthquake in the past like 3 weeks. There are the spots to not be. But if you are there, be prepared for a 6 or 7 magnitude earthquake. All right, now I'm drawing stuff for no reason. Yeah, there we go. Here's a rundown for the last 8 hours. 4.4 in Croatia. A 4.7 in Solomon Islands. A 5.0 in the Solomon Islands. A 5.9 in the Mid-Indian Ridge, which was probably downgraded by the U.S. downgrade service. 4.7 at Fiji at over 600 kilometers depth. No other quakes of note. Volcano rundown. Volcanoes today. Manam, Papua New Guinea, 10,000 foot plume. Krakatau, 4,000 foot plume there. Tokono, 7,000 foot plume there. Carinci, 14,000 foot plume there, so that's an uptick. Fuego, Guatemala, 15,000 foot plume there. Revenador, occasional emissions. Sabancaya, 23,000 foot plume there. Planchon Pedroa, 14,000 foot plume there. So that's a volcanic uptick, folks. Our regular viewers may be aware that I have a photograph of Glenn Beck barking out orders to this crew, the crew that set off at X-37B. It's, by the way, it's a space plane. It's much smaller than a space shuttle. It's like 29 feet long, and it's used to carry on materials experiments. We'll leave links in the description for it. And then you can go read up on it yourself and be all worried about what the CIA is doing with their mystery payload in the experiment bay. Hey, check it out. It's a phys.org article. Researchers find that the sun's magnetic field is 10 times stronger than previously believed. Somebody was aiming a scope at the right place at the right time, and they were able to figure out some stuff about the sun's magnetic field. We'll leave links in that article also. If you're thinking about shopping for a bike, go to veloshop.net. Here's a quote from the owner. I remember when I fell in love with cycling and went into a bike shop to buy my first serious bike. I immediately felt uncomfortable, as though I didn't belong there unless I was a top flight pro. That will never happen at the Velo Shop, where everyone at all levels will be treated as though they just won a gold medal. We all share the love of a bike, and that's all that matters. Becky Quinn, owner of the Velo Shop, veloshop.net for all your cycling needs. Speaking of cycling, I, your host, Daniel Nigro, aka smAsho, will be returning to the Cycling Peloton this year. And we're trying to raise money for various things, not only to start a nonprofit organization to raise awareness about things like the Sun-Earth connection and the unified theory and so on, but also to return to cycling. So not only are we doing team sponsorship, but we're doing personal sponsorship because I need a new road bike. So please visit the links below, as we have various ways to donate to the channel through one-time donations or recurring donations on PayPal, through Patreon subscription services, and through this GoFundMe page. This is actually just for the cycling. More on this later. Speaking of morons, Dr. Pierre-Marie Robitaille certainly is not one of those. Check out this video about the faint young sun problem. Anyway, those of you who've studied cosmology should know that the faint young sun problem is an issue with the age of the sun and an issue with the gaseous plasma model of stars in general. So here, let me just play a little clip for you here. Take it away, Dr. Robitaille.
Yet geologists tell us that there was evidence for liquid water on the Earth as far back as 3.8 billion years ago. So how could this be? Why would the Earth not simply be covered with ice if the sun was once much cooler than at present? In order to solve this riddle, the astronomers have invoked that the Earth was being heated with global warming.
Yes, that's right. He actually said global warming, and just watch the video. We'll leave links to that in the description also. By the way, if you're into the stock market and you think the stock market's doing well and the economy's just perfect, you should probably realize that the U.S. lost 40% of its grain stores in the flooding that's still occurring in the central U.S. So you may want to get out of the stock market. Just saying, that's not an official investment advice, and I'm not an official investment advisor. Please check out our other social media accounts, such as minds.com/MashoMash. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Please have a delightful weekend. Try not to drive a nail through a processor or format a hard drive out of rage. Remember, when you're staring at the sun, don't drink, and if you drink, stare at the sun anyway. And don't drive. And may the solar wind be at your back, and the atherosclerosis absent from your veins.